guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Funzo, and if you're new here, welcome.
Perfect. Perfect.
So today's topic will be my first catering job. So the job was to make a dessert table for 200 people for a wedding. They chose platters. What dessert I made for them? So they chose brownies, right? So what I decided to do was, because they chose just one thing, I decided to make it different flavors and decorate it a little bit differently so that it looks like it's different things. So the flavors I made is the normal chocolate brownies. Then I did orange chocolate, coffee brownies, and orange brownies. So those are the four flavors that I did. So the toppings were ganache, whipped cream that was stabilized, and whipped ganache. I'm gonna insert pictures as I'm talking about all of these things on the screen. So the time of the event, it was supposed to start at 10 a.m. but it ended up starting later than that. I think they were late by about 2 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So that meant that everything had to be pushed back a little bit, and since my table was a dessert table, it had to be mostly after people had gone and collected their food. So I think by the time they got to dessert, it was about 5 6 p.m. at night. That's when people ate, came in and started eating the desserts. What was the people's reaction? um people actually loved the desserts. Like, the some people were telling me that they'd never had that before, and they loved the taste and they loved the flavors, so they loved it. And I made contacts with other people as well who were in the industry, photographers, the caterers themselves, other cake makers, the decor person, and the venue person. So I made contacts with those people as well. And the person who hired me, which was the bride, was also very happy with the setup and with the dessert itself. So that was good. How I prepared for the event. So I made a list of the ingredients and the table setup that I would need for the function. So I also went online for some inspiration to see what I went on Instagram, just live Pinterest, to see like what I could do. And then I also drew some plans on a piece of paper just to see like what type of setup I would want before going out to buy the things. I also went online to check for best prices, for places where I can get the best prices. Cause what I did was I ran around like a headless chicken, going literally to every store. I think I went to Spa, Pick and Pay, ShopRite, Woolworth. But basically, I went to a bunch of Mr. Price Home. I went to a bunch of stores to kind of look at the prices for everything, right? And when I was buying slowly, like I would buy compare, and then that's what I did. And then I borrowed the table for the setup from a neighbor. Now I finally have a table of my own. But everything else at the time that was starting off, I've used most of the money that I was getting of the payment, and not for the catering, to buy the equipment I needed, right? So like a tablecloth, some lights, and all of those things. Because they're gonna be investment for the business, so I decided to do that. How I felt when I got the job. I was surprised. At first, I thought it was somebody else that I thought I knew who wanted I thought it was another catering person who wanted a dessert table because they didn't want to do it. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I think I know who I'm talking to. And then the more I was talking to this person, and then we were going on, I was like, oh, crap. I was like, oh, no, no, no. This is not who I think it is. It's somebody else. So I was like, oh, wow, okay. So my advertising worked, and I'm sure even word of mouth and stuff like that worked. And I actually booked a job for myself. I was so excited excited, I was scared, I was nervous, afraid I was gonna mess it up. But that was just, there was also, it was an overwhelming joy that I had inside of me. And I was very, very, very determined to do a good job for my client. How I felt on the day of the event, I was panicking, like, but my panic was mostly internal, and of course my mom knew that I was panicking because I was just like, okay. At first we were like, oh my god, we're not gonna leave on time, and we still need to get there and then set up, because I promised listen I was gonna be there at 9, and the place was a little bit of a distance from where we were coming from. So we were there maybe just past 9. Of course the event ended up starting way later than that. We were super early for the event. And so I was like, okay, we were there. I was panicking. I thought I was gonna mess up. I thought people were not gonna like my desserts, but of course I tasted them, and I had my mom to taste the stuff for me, and I knew that it tasted good. But in my head, I still going like, okay, maybe they're not gonna like it. Maybe it's not gonna hit right. I don't know if the whipped cream is actually gonna last because it was hot, and although I did manage to stabilize the whipped cream. Google is your friend. It stabilized and it stayed there for hours, not melting. If you know whipped cream, it melts like nobody's business. But in this case, when it was stabilized, it did not melt at all. It held up, right? So what also was happening was that I was 50% happy. I mean, I was 50% ready. I was 50% ready for this event mentally, 100% ready when it came to food, but 50% ready for the event itself. So the only other thing was like I learned the fact that I needed more serving platters, of course, because my plan was like if it was finishing, then I can be putting the stuff on the side. But everything started going like a little bit of a panic and stuff, and then I learned that okay, Funzo, at this point in time, what you need to do is what you definitely do need to do next time is have more platters and just cover them, and then when people finish those ones like what we used to do in restaurants, you go take out the other one. You don't start assembling it as people have started eating. You already have it prepared. That was my bad. I made a mistake with that. Learned it from the restaurant. Do not know why I didn't apply it on the day of the function. How I felt after the event. I felt so happy. I thought the desserts were not gonna finish. By the time we left, like people were even coming after me, going like, "No, didn't you have more of the stuff?" I was like, "No, no, no. I had what I prepared for," and I was like, and people were like, "Oh my god, that tasted good," and people were happy, and I was like, "Oh my god, thank God, everybody actually liked it." I was like, okay, I was happy, I was excited. I was like, okay, so knocked my first job out of the park. Hoping that I'm gonna get more jobs so that I can show off my skills. Because the one thing I feel like I can say right now I'm priding myself in is being able to at least balance taste. I might not be great at the finish, as in the presentation of the food, which is something I struggle with, or maybe even prep when it comes to cutting more things. That's why on my videos you usually see everything already done, because I'm like, I'm not about to have, if one of these videos blows up, I'm not about to have a chef critique how I'm cutting the ingredients. So rather than doing that, because I know how I'm supposed to do them perfectly, but my hands just will not allow me to do it. So, but I know at least the one thing I can say, even when I was in culinary school, that I can pride myself in was how the food tasted. Is the one thing. At least I know that my palate is on point. Not to toot my own horn. So, guys, that was basically a summary of my experience for my first official catering job for somebody else that I don't know at all. Because I had done a few things for like family events and stuff like that. But that's family and that's at home. I mean that was a small event, and yeah. But for this one, that was like a first official. So that was basically the summary of what happened that day, and I'm happy it went well, and hopefully I will get more jobs and I'll be able to show off more of my skills, and I'll be able to because I'll be able to do any dish. Because at this moment I'm thinking like, what, no dish is actually like difficult. All you have to do is just practice the dish. Because let me tell you something, when I was making those brownies, the first one came out and I thought, oh crap, they did not come out the way I wanted them. They were not cutting well, they were not performing right. But in my head I was thinking, oh no, like people are not doing it like that. I put them as backups and people still finished all of those. So I just need to get out of my own head. But guys, other than that, guys, we've come to the end of my video. All I can say is I'm very thankful to the person that gave me the opportunity to cater for them, and I am glad that I had that experience, and my mom for being there so that I could actually cater and do all of these things, and she was my transport. So I'm very glad that this went well. And guys, thank you for watching my videos. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell on the side so that you do get notified as soon as I post a new video. And guys, until next time, bye.